Bonza Pearl is coming and Hitotsu. Lightsaber 100 to go. Hitotsu grinding it down. Lightsaber joined by Hitotsu. They're running off the track. Hitotsu just in front. Hitotsu a special win.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I'm joined in studio by the infamous John Walter.
Mate, I'm actually scared. After just that mic check, DK is scaring me. So I think we're in for a good show today. Could be very explosive.
DK, you're up and about, in a bit of a slump, self-proclaimed. How are you? Come on. You need a hug?
How do you think I am? You just been speaking to me for 10 minutes. Just riding the crest of a slump, just sat in traffic for 1 hour. Warney's died. He's only 4 years older than me. I mean, what hope have I got? Anyway, away we go. We're a resilient bunch, us punters. How are you, Nico?
I'm a bit more positive than DK. I'll give you that much. Super Saturday this Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's the vibe could be lifted in this studio for sure.
Jesus Christ.
And it's Teary Tuesday here.
Jesus, I feel positive all of a sudden.
I'm coming off a Mark Miranda in Sydney, so I thought I was going to be the worst in here, but I'm clearly one of the best. Jester and more secrets. Okay for you yesterday at Sandown, Nico, but it was a tough weekend last Saturday for you at headquarters, and this is probably what started DK on tilt. I think he got wrong Aussied. You've heard of wrong wallet when you back the wrong wallet runner. But,
mate, he's been jerking off of a Hitotsu for how long?
Yeah, but I thought he gave a really big push to Forgot You. So I don't know if Aussie's giving DK the A or the B set. And this is...
He hasn't benched his son or something, has he?
I don't know what he's done.
Hasn't rested the wrong child.
There were caveats. Come on. Who trained one and who trained the other? Like, seriously. Ma trained Hitotsu and Trent trains Forgot You. Like, I mean, it's just chalk and cheese. So, anyway, but... we were discussed it when Hitotsu was $3.50 and Forgot You was $13. Anyway, so everyone's gone into Forgot You each way, of course. Probably backed it each way. Grass bet at $12, $13. Where'd it run? Fourth. Of course it ran fourth. But anyway, the run of that race was pinstriped, wasn't it? He's the only horse that really I want to take out going forward.
Off the All-Star
What about the
Mile.
yard, Nico? What did Hitotsu and Profondo and all the fresher horses, how did they...
Was it fat?
It was carrying a bit of condition. Definitely was carrying some condition compared to a horse like Hitotsu. Looked like he'd done a lot of work in the lead up. But yeah, sort of looking at him from the yard point of view, I thought Captivant probably couldn't look much better. Pinstripe was really good in the yard. So yeah, he's probably one that I think next start's going to run a big race in the All-Star Mile. But yeah, Totsu's probably just a freak, isn't he? What he's doing so far in his career, he's hard to knock.
Well, they're blowing up there and quite about Aussie and that my relationship with Aussie. What was the last thing I said on last week's show, the week for show? Something about Yonce? Did I say something about Yonce? Being a chance in the Caulfield Cup or something? And they laughed at me.
Bolted him.
Bolted him. Couldn't have done any more.
I backed it to win the Caulfield Cup. I didn't back it on Saturday.
We'll give you a bit of a hug. Walt cares. He's got the stand-up Walt every week, new costume. You got the Care Bears shirt. Is that serious? Is that legit? Is that yours? It's very tight.
It is.
Hey?
Just comes up a bit.
You just need a hug, DK. I think we all...
All these fanboys will love that. They'll pop me on Twitter like they did last week because I talk too much and they want me to shut up and they want to listen to him and they love him and his T-shirt. So they'll love that. Care Bears. All these fanboys will get more tweets this week about me going crapping on.
I'll tell you who else needs a hug is Robbie Dolan.
Well,
he's just got punted from Huey, and I think it's just trainer talk looking for an excuse. I thought Profondo, he draws a wide gate. Where do you expect him to be?
Why would you, like, I know Bowman, they come out and said he's committed to the rest of the pro.
No, they're not. They don't do that, the big boys.
No,
they jump.
Next start, yes, but why would you? And is there any horse left after that? Like, what the hell? Hitotsu, similar sort of horse, right? So both sort of on the way to a derby. You could one completely targeted one race in his hometown. Obviously got the right run and everything as well. But the other one, like he's obviously race fresh, wasn't ready for a mile first up probably. His run was all right, but far out, that could be the end of him for the prep. And I think it looked like it was half a mission to get the jockey off. Why didn't they just bite the bullet and punt him and set him for the right race and put Bowman on from the start? But interesting to see if they got a horse left after Saturday.
And you obviously managed Tim Clark and Josh Parr. The loyalty in racing and one bad ride. I see. We sort of spoke about it in our chat group on Saturday when I guess Bryce Hayes had that scenario with Spieth and he kept changing jockeys and he had the problems with Hugh and then all of a sudden Brad Rawiller up the straight. So to keep changing jockey for a horse isn't really a good, can bring you unstuck. And then a horse like Profondo's got a couple of tricks. It seems like Robbie finally knows how to ride the horse. and then now he's been punted.
He's a very lightly raced horse. But the problem is, like, Josh rode Castelvecchio for that stable. Same connections, nearly identical. And the problem is, same as Spieth, that you've got a little stable that have got a flagship horse out of the blue. Obviously, Richard Litt's backed it up a couple of times now, but that horse means so much to the stable that I think they overthink every single decision.
Yep.
And rather than sort of having a stable jockey like, say, sort of Tim with Converge, you know where it's going to go, something like that, you know, they're always on edge. And if the littlest thing goes wrong, someone's got to go under the bus.
Baby out
you know?
with the bathwater.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously Robbie did a good job with this horse last prep, but, you know, heading to Melbourne, gate 15, first up at a mile, off 4 days off a trial, travelling down there, all the, 400% humidity. He just had everything against him. And he's gone 4 minutes after the race. So it's not as if that wasn't in their mind before the race. It's just a weird situation, but that happens all the time, and jockeys know it. But apparently, old mate's on bigger and better things. He's going on The Voice this year or something anyway.
Yeah, I had a bit of a chuckle. I reckon he's not hundreds to win it. He's got.
They reckon he's all right. I haven't listened to it. It's too much for me. DK would. DK would have.
Yeah, he was on the thing at the Emerald there the other night.
Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie was singing at the Emerald after the last there. Yeah, sounded all right.
Would you punt Mick D from Pinstripe, DK, if he was your horse? What would you do?
I was only sort of, he should have followed.
Yes.
I forgot. Yeah, well, there's so many good riders, I suppose, A-graders.
And it's $7 million race, is it, or $5 million race next start? It's not as if it's a cup of tea race.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
He had a bit of the collets, didn't he? He just had one blinker working, another that wasn't working.
That sort of horse needs a bit of help, so why not find the right jockey to give him a bit of help? It's not as if it's going to lead and bowl along.
Yeah. If he'd had the run Bonza Pearl had, if he was one spot wider, it would have won the race. That's more what I would have thought anyway.
Yeah, every decision he made was wrong, wasn't it? But
particularly that one where he just said, I'll go outside, forgot you, and then the thing just laid out straight away in front of him.
the flip side was he got boned off Revolutionary Miss, and I reckon if he was on her and had a rode her in the Blue Diamond, I reckon she nearly wins because he would have known that she lays in. Jamie Carr started whipping the right hand, he was whipping the left hand straight away in the Caulfield in the prelude. So
that's one thing that shits me when the new rider doesn't have the whip ready in the left on a horse who's going to lay.
Watch the
lay
replay.
his last three starts.
It's it.
You think it not possible.
It's a dead giveaway from a really top line jockey that's done the tapes, done the replays, and DK and I in direct messages talk about it all the time, and he just blows up straight away. He's like,
Mate,
D-Lane's done his tapes, and this other bloke doesn't.
It's bollocks. Most of them don't. Most of them don't. Like big races, yes, most of the time you'd expect them to, but a lot of them go to the races not knowing, what's really happening. It's
massive edge.
It is, but and then I don't know. I don't know. It's all too much. You expect more from a jockey than what they expect from themselves in most cases. And
the good thing maybe off the back of the weekend is hopefully we can stop hearing all this noise about Zaki and Animo. We've said that good chance of getting beat. They got beat. They're good horses. They're no superstars.
More noise. We want them to start $1.70 every start. More noise. More noise. Where's Chris Reed?
The flip side. That's the flip side, yes. But the narrative and all this noise that they're champions and all this, that can be put to bed. And they're good horses, but they're no superstars.
Well, at least everyone's up and about. Everyone's positive. I'm a bit more upbeat.
You're upbeat?
Well, now I am, because if you guys...
Mate, I beat you to your own house. How upbeat can you be?
Oh, it's going to be a big show. We've got Group 1 Newmarket and the Australian Cup. Walt's going to have a look at a couple of races on Group 1 Coolmore Day. He's going to have a look at the Magic Night.
They've only had 600 mil there, so it's probably a good 4.
At least they've got a heavy 10. They're not going reverse. They're going to start at the worst and then try and get their way back. But
it'll be all right. As long as it doesn't rain anymore, Jesus Christ, it'll be all right. But it'll be just like last week, hopefully, sticky.
It was amazing. When I flew in Tuesday to Sydney, it was just this massive cloud 10 minutes out. It was all fine, sunny skies, got to the edge, and literally the plane just started to, I thought it was going to tip over, and then bang. It was like just someone had turned the bath tap on the plane, and we nearly flipped over.
You look Hawkesbury racetracks like gone.
Yeah.
It's, there's spots when they're talking 20, 15, 20 metres above what they're normally. Oh, jeez. Right.
Yeah, it's a very easy time for you with all your New South Wales sets. You're just basically playing golf up here. Yeah. Mug Punter, he's back in business. He's not a Sydney punter anymore. He is a Melbourne specialist.
Market mover.
Overpass.
He's a market mover.
He's good.
JP said when he saw him parade, he come out pouring and he had his head in his chest. He said, we're on here. We are on here.
Top spot steamers need to lift, but up first, I think we're going to go for a little bit of a DK out wide special. But Manscaped, they're the go with us. 20% off if you type in Little Birdie at the Manscaped shop. The Australian version or the US version, doesn't matter. Our code works in both. The lawnmower's a beauty. You never nick your nuts, so it does your
I got
head.
that. That
Does
goes
you?
nicely with the,
No, don't undo. Don't, no.
with the Care Bear.
Do
It's
you
like
ever
a
wash them?
pedophile
Do
special.
you ever wash them?
How much you got to spend to get a Care Bear shirt thrown in?
Oh dear. All right, we're gonna have a look at Cranbourne on Friday night. DK might have found one here, and he's making my AV guy work overtime here. Let's have a look at the market thanks to Top Sport. This is the brown sawdust shavings.
DK's
3-year-old
putting it on the
maiden
line.
Hey?
DK's putting it on the
Off
line.
the
He's having a
bench.
go.
Off the bench.
Oh, wow.
I've come off the
Here
bench.
we go.
All right, the favourite is Robert the Puss. $3.
Oh, I say, surely that's him.
Howdy.
Rupert's Delight, $3.40. Can Tathan, I'll call it $5. Perusal, $7.50. High Ground, something in Sydney, $11, and Enthrall, $12. DK has queued up not one, not two, but three replays. We're going to go all the way back to September 14, 2021, and this is the first little hit out in the orange and white.
I won't have seen this. I was in purgatory back then.
This is in the coffin. So this is what happens when you're in the coffin. The thing moves outside you and you get out, or you just stay there. And you stay there for 500 metres, which is what it does here. Just stays there. So there's Robert, just moral beat. So that was it, his second start. So that was second up last prep. So there he is, moral beat, second up last prep. He's second up Friday night. Just gets out. He got out with 25 to go, I think, or never got out. So that was that. So on the buttering up, he goes to Bendigo, big track. And there he is. He got shuffled back. He got a Griffiths horse outside him. And then here he is again. Held up. He's held up at the vital stage. Race goes back and he gets held up again. Held up again. Race is over. He's mile off him. Just charges the last 100. And so he goes, which I don't like. He goes to the paddock off that run, which is good. You know, he's got plenty left in the tank. They didn't empty him out first prep. Looked like, so he resumed this race here over 1,200. He's not a 1,200.
Different colours.
Yeah, different colours.
He's in the blue and the
Simon
white here.
Zara colours here. Widest runner, yeah. He went back and wide this day. The Hawks' favourite had everything go its way. Had a gay thing rolling along in front of it. $2.30 the leader. He went back and wide, sprinted really hard for them from the, I think from about the 6 to the 2, and he just peaked a bit late. The winner had the soft run. It was really good. He's not a 1,200 metre horse, and that's a terrific return over 1,200. So he goes to 1,400 second up here Friday night. He's not a great mapper, but what I like about this race is there's about 4 leaders in the race. So he's got Enthralled led at Sandown the other day. The Higher Ground led at Sale. Perusal was on pace at Sandown. Keller Tin will hold the box seat. Rupert's Delight. Now, Rupert's Delight's my favourite camp, of course. My favourite camp. He's typical of them. Typical horse.
Griffiths to Cock.
He's having his 11th run for the prep. 11th. He's been up in his first run in the first week of September. And his 11th run for the prep. So he's in tonight. He's in the night. But there's a very good chance that prep, why not? It's his 12th run for the prep. We'll give him the one-day backup. Why not? They probably will. If there's any camp that'll do it, it's them. But, so there's good speed here. So I thought he'd just be able to park around him. The rail's back in the true. You'd be able to, but rather than having the rail out there, the rail true sort of helps. You can run on a bit there. So I thought he'd park off him and wind up strongly down the middle and round him up. Second up tomorrow night.
Good horse for D Thornton. That's where you want to see him sort of back, making decisions, having to go early if he has to. Like, he's happy to do that.
And so he wants redemption too because he was on at Bendigo. So it's only been him and Frosty on the horse.
Yeah.
Someone wrote, I think D Moore wrote it first up. But Frosty's had 2 goes on it and there's run Coffin in that first up run. D Thornton had that run at Bendigo where just had to find any room at all. And he got held up at Bendigo all the way. I mean, it just doesn't say. He'll be looking for redemption. So he'll be hungry to get the win on the horse. And I just thought, that's good speed on the race and he could round him up. Hope that, as I said, I think the price will hold up a bit because he's going to be off them a bit, just back off them. So even though if Griffiths doesn't run the horse, he's going to come into 260 or 270, but I still think he'll run somewhere around the $3 because he's going to be giving him a little bit of a start.
The grandstand will be cheering that one.
Robert the Puss.
What, to get held up
Robert
or to rip down the middle of it?
no, that'd be like that. I like it looks like
Give it
DK's
plenty
been,
of room, son. Give it plenty of room. That's all I'll be telling you.
Yeah.
Jesus
he's been
Christ.
waiting a very, very long time, and you can see it, can't you? Steps out over 1,200 metres, and every start prior was 1,400, 1,500 metres.
That says to me he's come back a bit sharper this prep. Ideally, he's going to get to probably 2,000, but the fact that he kicked him off over 12, And his jump outs,
Nice clean
he
out
looked
run.
sharp in the jump outs. He looked sharper, so it was a good run first up.
What have you made of the Allerton Zara split? How are you sort of handling them?
They were a camp I'd like backing. If I saw when they were together and I saw one in and I liked it, I was happy to back it, particularly Cranburns and Kytons and joints like that. They were put the pen through them on debut. They were like 1 from 80 on first starters. So that was good together. So now they broke off. They split. Matty Allerton went 8 from 40 and Simon Zara went none from 50 when they started. So then I'm scratching my head going, then Simon's he had a city double, or didn't he at Sandown the other day? He might get going, but I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because their history, and I'm saying Simon just took a while to warm up, or so, he had a few close seconds and things. Matty's come off a bit from that big start, but they did set. When they split, they went like that. One flew and one went shit house. But I think they're good trainers. So I think I'm happy to. And they use good jockeys, D Lane, D Thornton. They train at Flemington. They've got nice cattle. So I'm giving him the bet. Look, his stats are down still. He's only 5 from 110 or something, Simon. But I'm just hoping, I'm thinking it'll balance out in the end.
All right. Hopefully we can get the cash there with Robert the Puss on Friday night at Cranbourne. So that's race number 2 there. And he's racing in the Blue Silks now with Simon Zara, who's out on his own. If you want to dig deeper into the stats, make sure you check out puntingform.com.au. DK loves it. He obviously does his homework. He can identify stables he loves and also the ones that are having a bit of a quiet patch as well. Helps.
So what you're saying is Punting Form helped him to identify the puss.
Potentially in the post-race stuff.
In the post-race,
he might have just gone in the post-race sectionals.
Post-race
and they
puss
got them.
analysis. Well done.
Get around puntingform.com.au and sign up an account ASAP. It'll help take you to the next level. All right, we're going to go ad-free here. Everyone's online, and it's going to be Nico having a look at the Newmarket handicap here.
Here we go.
Race number 6.
Mate, I've been held up here. What's going on? Normally I'm fresh out of the box. I've been in the boxes for about 18 minutes.
I don't want you to piss off early.
Jesus Christ.
No, if I'm going to give you
Best we've got to do the best racing first.
I would have thought so. Shit before the shovel. Newmarket handicap.
Races.
It's home affairs here. $3.80. Lost and Running at $3.80. Artorius $11. Mask Crusader $11. Quantico $15. Swats that $1,600 and Snapdance is $1,700. One of Walt's horses. Oxley Road $20. Finance Tycoon $21. And we won't worry about any of the rest. There's a couple of big ones at odds like Count Rupee first up, but interesting little scenario here. And the replay that we're going to have a look at is the Lightning. Nico, talk us through this.
Yeah, what's there to say, really? Home affairs just too strong for him. I suppose Nature Strip missed the start. Some would argue maybe should have beat him, but there's no Nature Strips in this race here on Saturday. Gets back to 1,200 metres, scene of the crime of the Coolmore, where it's probably his most dominant win. I don't know, I just love this horse. He's super tough. He fights off Nature Strip here. His win in the Coolmore was outstanding. Gets here second up. Everything I saw from him in the yard. I think he was more forward than a lot of people thought he was going to be in that race, so he's going to be cherry ripe here for Saturday. Bit of a grand final for him to win the Newmarket, go, 2 1,200 metre Group 1s down the straight. He's going to be worth a lot of money if he can get this win aboard. Barrier 16, ideal, I thought. Just probably comes down the middle. Maybe has a bunny to follow, maybe leads. I'd probably like him better if he did lead, but if he follows one, J-Mac, he's going to be in the right spot. I'm kind of surprised he's 380, to be honest. Lost and Running's a good horse. I think the level Lost and Running got to last prep, where he sort of ran 4th in the Everest, got beat by Eduardo in the Classic Legend. I don't know if he can go much better. As you saw, Home Affairs beat those horses first up. I think he can go better, Home Affairs. I reckon he really could be the best sprinter in Australia. I think we could see it on Saturday. And I'm happy to bet up at 380, to be honest. I kind of had him more 250, 260. I think it could be a moral here, punters.
Ooh, M-word. Gee, that's ballsy in the Group 1. Walt, you're looking at me funny.
He was close. No, he was close. He was just one off. Like Lost and Running best country and Lost and Running the moral. I thought it was close.
It's interesting.
No, it's a good race. It's a good race.
The Chris Waller factor, not grand final day, home affairs. I would have thought he'd be peaking today. Oh, sorry, not on Saturday.
I think he had him ready for last start. But this year he'll run well. He's a good horse. I couldn't believe the win of Lost and Running first.
I think he's a new horse from last prep.
Lost and running.
He's back.
I think he's a much better horse, and I think he could be the best horse in the country.
Where's Artorius at, Nico?
Oh, where is he at? He's drawn barrier number 2 here, so he's got no favours. The first up run sectionally was good. To the visual, he's kind of bludging away there at the back of the field. He's got the turn of foot to win this race. It's just, can he out sprint, like a Masked Crusader who's nearly unbeaten over 1,200. His 2 defeats have come in at a TJ and an Everest where he's run second in Nature Strip. Can he sit back with a horse like him and get over beat him home, let alone getting over the top of, your Lost and Runnings, Home Affairs are probably going to be, 5-6 lengths in front of him at least. He's going to have a task, but he is in very well at the weights. Like Home Affairs has got to carry 56. They met at equal weights in the Coolmore. I think Artorias is in here with 51.
Yeah, 51, yeah.
He's probably the weights horse, but I don't know. There's no fat in $11 for me.
If there's any chink in any of their armours, there's a bunch of interesting horses. It's got a million angles of the race. Like
It has.
sickos that like even you said like Count de Rupee, mate, it's a good horse. They've had it in wrong races all the time. It's got like serious turn for this is a silly. It's entitled to be big odds, no doubt. But like hit Quantico first up. There's a lot of horses in there that are really dangerous. That
Well, Masked Crusader's not a 1,000-metre horse, and
No.
the more I look at that Lightning Run,
Yeah.
the more I like it. There's like
that's it.
different kettle
it's
of
like
fish,
Terra
1,200.
Vista against the horse. If it's a hell of a race. Like in all seriousness, I think it's a great race to watch. I'll be cheering for Home Affairs for all the people following Nico in because I won't be betting in the race. But it's there'll be serious form come out of this race. Probably the best sprint race I've seen in ages.
The turnovers is going to be unbelievable for this, so you don't have to.
There'll be no turnover.
Well-
It's a Melbourne race, but that's all right. We only talk about Sydney when we come to turnover.
From my
I
days-
agree. I think Masked Crusader is probably the other horse I want on my side. He's been 15s into 11s. 15s was over, so I think you could probably get him closer to $6 or $7 here if you wanted to off his 2 runs, in the TJ and the Everest, where he arguably should have gone very close to beating Nature Strip in both of them. 1,200 metre records outstanding, down the straight, drawing the right part. He'll be charging at him late. If you're playing exotics or anything like that, he's got to be in. But Home Affairs on top.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about Home Affairs, but definitely the big price runner there was Masked Crusader, and $15 would be a great price if you secured that. But as Walt says, I think you can make a case for a horse like Count de Rupee.
Any like especially from exotics point, and I wouldn't be surprised if Boston Running came out 1 by 5. I wouldn't be surprised if Home. I don't know. It's just a great race. It's still plenty of angles.
No, well, from my days at Betfair, the turnover around 1,200 metre races just absolutely balloons. There's just money comes from the absolute hills. All the big players like
1,000 metre races. It's
market
just
so
limited
deep.
to what can win a lot of the time. The races, whereas 1,200 brings in the milers, 1,400 metre horses, fresh horses. The 1,000 metre horses stretching. It's just a great angles race.
But it's great to see a Group 1 sprinting handicap with a field like this,
I was a bit in limbo this race last year. Like Satori beat Indian Pacific. Everyone was like, oh, what's happened to the Newmarket?
Yeah.
September run started favourite. Satori's 50s here. September run started favourite
It's
last
40s,
year.
was
She's
up there,
30s.
30s.
Like, it's just a completely different race. Even the Australian Cup, I think, relative to what we've copped the last few years, it's a ripper race this year. You're obviously not going to attract the stars that it used to get, your Lonros and all that back in the day, weren't they? Something to watch. But
We don't have any.
that could also be true.
Days a star of racing in Australia now. That's how we're going.
You're not going to start banging on about the breeder horses and the Japanese again, eh?
No, we're just gone. We're gone. But that's all right. It is what it is. As long as you get the best of what's around and it's a competitive race, that's all you can ask for.
Let's have a look at the Australian Cup. Let's fast forward. We could whinge all day long. We've got Think It Over at the top of the top sport market here. 310 into 290. Spanish Mission 460. Duais 750. Cascadian $8. She's Ideal. Been running some bottlers $10. Call Sign Mav. For Danny O'Brien $15. Maximal. Interesting runner. Don't know where it's at. $18. Delphi $20. Yonkers 26. Surprise Baby 41. Looks big to my eye. Ho Ho Khan 51 and Steel Prince 61. Think It Over's a replay you like here, Nico.
Yeah, this is last start in the Chipping Norton on the. Oh no, sorry. This is
Call Sign Mav.
Oh, this is Coolside Mav Spanish Mission, which is probably another key replay to look at. Spanish Mission here is second elect in the market. Look, I thought this was a big first up run from Spanish Mission. He was sort of 8 into 6 late. There was a lot of support for him. Coolside Mav's obviously done a good job up on top of the speed. Would have been interesting if Earlswood came to this race, but he's got a miss by the sounds. Spanish Mission, this was over a mile, so getting to 2,000 metres back to Flemington. He looks very suited. Was pretty forward in the yard there as well. I don't know if there's a whole heap for the team to work with there. He looked like he
Spanish
was...
Mission?
Yeah, he looked like he's going to be set for a race like
Hong
this.
Kong Darren, they missed the first half of this race here.
This is Think It Over. Very elegant, just called him late. I just don't think this was his go. Heavy 10, like he's a lot better on top of the ground. I think he's better in faster run races than what happened here. He's just sort of left a bit vulnerable out the front there. Horses with better turns of foot, your She's Ideal, Duay, they're really good off slow tempos. I think if he finds a faster run race here, which is every chance he does with Coolside Mav and Delphi, rolling along out in front, their best chance would be to go quicker. Think it over with Nash. He probably parks in, one out, one back, 2 pairs back, 1 off. His 2,000 metre record, I know he was kind of winning, the Craven and the Hill last sort of spring, and they were a bit gimme races, but he's 4th in the Queen Elizabeth last autumn would suggest he's right up to anything in this sort of grade. Peaks here 3rd up, I reckon. Nash. Look, I'm on at a longer price, I will say that, but I still think he's the horse to beat.
He's a little future sniper.
Little sniper.
Eh?
Little sniper, right?
He's a big future sniper, actually. He does some
How
of
do you,
his best grub
Jesus,
work.
they do my head in now.
Eh?
You get all excited, then you press the submit button, they go, you can bet to win 500. You just want to kill yourself, and it's 4 months out, and then they cut the price by a quarter. It's
Get
great,
the keys.
Great life.
I know it got you in trouble. Get the keys.
Yeah, that's it. But they don't even bet you anymore.
Surprise baby, Nico. I thought it wasn't a bad run second up. It's with Gavin Bedggood and had some issues, but to my eye, $41 and $7 the place at Top Sport has some appeal at trying to find a horse that's probably going to get back to its favourite track and run on and maybe peak there.
Yeah.
What price you got it?
Well, yeah, I think he's in the game. Surprise baby. Like, we watched that Carline Cup replay. Spanish Mission ran 3rd. He ran 4th. He was the fastest last 200 metres of that race. Spanish Mission's 440 here, and he's 40 to 1. See him in the yard that day. I thought he paraded much better that day than what he did back in the spring. So I reckon Bedggood's really worked him out. He's kind of a horse who, at his absolute best, he's right in a race like this. Whether he's going to be at that level, but we've seen over the last few years, like Holmesman won this race last year. The year before was, off the top of my head, another horse who was a bit out of form but shown a lot of talent. 50 Stars. Harlem was probably in that similar boat to Surprise Baby, just at his absolute best, good enough. So, look, I think 40s you could definitely have something on, but Think It Over's the horse to beat.
In that replay, like Dewey, that's just psyched me out that whole race. Whether Dewey, like, obviously held up the whole way, loses momentum, pulls around their heels, and ripping home 3 to their 1. Does that say that form was horrendous? I thought Nash rode Think It Over horrifically in that race as well. So I agree that it can improve. But
Has Duais got any hope? Has it got any hope here?
It's got a hope.
well, I think it's the one horse that could be a moral. Like, its first up run was enormous and ran into dead ends. And that run on face value was huge. It'd be interesting to see what it does when it gets to the middle at Flemington. Does need a bit of luck. My challenge to JP was to find Think It Over's back from the gate. That's his challenge. But it won't be easy to do that. But she went enormous there to the
I
eye.
suppose the counterbalance would be Think It Over started favourite and she was 100 to 1. So maybe the SP was a bit wrong, but I do think she's best suited like in a race like that where they went slow and she can rip on some big late closing splits. Got a huge turn of foot on her. That'll be, I think, the key to this race. If Delphi finds the front, Zara might roll along in a fast clip. Like, his best run's in a real fast run, Naturalism, and then went way too slow last up. But if Mott finds the front on Coolside Mav, he's probably better over a mile, and they might think, 2,000 went real quick in the Cox Plate. Maybe he's a bit suspect. We want to go a bit slower. So if that's the case, Dewey, she's ideal. She has a massive turn of foot off a slow speed. They probably come into play. If it's a fast run race, I think it just favours the better horses. Think It Over and Spanish Mission is probably the best stayer.
The big thing with
weird race, that last race. That she's a very elegant race. Just trying to work it out.
It's just on a bottomless track. Like, Think It Over on top of the ground. It's a different kettle of fish.
Just, how do you know?
Yeah, you can just
Good. It's a good race.
Shelby 66.
Well, that's exactly
Shelby.
right. Exactly
Like-
right. An old-time professional punter said to me, but he doesn't bet on heavy tracks. He said, shit happens on wet tracks. And if you want to see number one evidence A of it, was Shelby 66 poking up, nearly beating Eduardo there on the weekend. Like,
I was waiting for the times to come out of that race and say that they'd run 8 lengths below or something. I can't believe they went 3 above or something. Like, they've actually ripped home. That's probably the most unexplainable performance I've ever seen.
wet track.
Yeah, but still, it's run time.
Yeah.
And at weight for age, and like, it just doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense about it.
On the backup?
Yeah, I love East Style. We're thinking about backing it 3 weeks up. It's like 6 of the last 8. Don't worry about 3 in a row. I think it's 6 of the last 8 if he backs it up this week.
Well, maybe Griffiths the Cockney to back that horse up.
Like the one day.
Yeah, the one day.
I just want to
Could
do
be
it.
something in it.
And then, imagine that. Bottled up, 1 day back up, Bob's misses, DK's head blows off.
What were the
It'd be
big
good sight to see.
syndicates and the models do with like on the quick backup again off the wet? Because they love the backup
They love
onto
it.
the wet. So
Big
that'd be
syndicates love
interesting.
the backup.
Did you see like Forbidden Love last
Yeah.
week on the 7-day backup? It's failed twice, I think, on 7-day backups. It was coming off the heavy 10 7-day backup, and they backed it like it was bloody had the week later's paper. $1.80 best tote. Jeez.
That was the most boring Group 1 ever.
It was.
It was a shocking
Oh.
race, but Jesus Christ, how did you know it was going to be handed the race like that? It was crazy.
Leader wins and outside leads run second and nothing else makes any ground. Like, it's just
Nah.
boring watch.
T Berry stays in the gates, and the other one couldn't. It went like a rocket. Private Eye. Holy hell!
All right. If you want more of Nick Noonan's final thoughts for the last 3 to 5 minutes, you can get them via Telegram. It's $25 a week, and it's trusted by some of Australia's biggest punters. You'd be absolutely shocked if you see who subscribe to that list, but I use it every week, and I'm not shocked, and I'm a big fan of Nico's stuff, so fingers crossed that you can get the job done this Saturday for us, and all the subs. Walt, you in a good mood to do Rose Hill, the dual acceptors? I saw you got a bit cranky on Twitter yesterday. You're blowing up too many horses.
I tried to pick the races with
Huh?
you got the fillies are in the whatever, the like 4 different races over the weekend. I was just trying to work out when they actually were going to decide what races they were going to go in. So I think they're pretty much
The disease
settled
has
now.
spread north, has it? The dual accepting disease from down here.
Yeah,
Like,
rife down
Well, they've got
here.
too many options, the fillies, and they get made. Like I think Kembla Grange Group 3 Classic was moved to Goulburn, so they've got to work out whether they want to take it to Goulburn, whether they want to run in the Coolmore, whether they want to run in the fillies race, whether they want to wait for the flight, whether they want to. So
they just,
it's understandable. It's just hard to do any work.
I know
around.
it's just 1 week, but they do it every day down here. Every day. The trainers, it's free noms, just nominate the horse every place, everywhere, except everywhere. See where you get a run. In 3 joints or 4 joints, and then just scratch 2 or 3 times and pick the eyes out of the one. I mean, it's just shocking for early betting. I mean, fair enough for all them and participants and everything, but for trying to bet in the early markets, it's a shit show.
Graham Begg was talking about it yesterday with the horse he had win at Sandown, British Columbia. He said he could have run him in 4 races over this week. I know it's a maiden, but they get a few looks at it and just it's whatever Waller wants goes up there, isn't it? Just accepts in all the races. Oh, we'll go run this one here, we'll run that one there. Book the same jockey in the same race.
Yeah, they just put down 28 horses with no jockeys and then work it all out. And you just don't look at them early up here. It's crazy. But why would you anyway? The weather is and everything. It is understandable. Everyone's under strange conditions at the moment. Even Chris Waller, I'll give him a break.
Well, I might record that. Rosehill this Saturday is absolutely cracking on Coolmore Group 1 Day. Magic Nights, the race we're going to have a look at with top sport prices on screen now. She's Extreme has come up favourite for Anthony. $3 into 280. Queen of the Ball, $3.90. Miss for Burge, $12. Moco, $13. Winner takes it all, $13. Swift Street, $14. Celestial Spirit, $15. And don't worry about the rest. Walt, you got a pretty strong handle, I've been noticing in your Discord chat and just in general of these 2-year-olds. I think.
I don't know. I must have been high as a kite here. I thought it was 380 and the other one was 280. But anyway, we'll still run with it. I think it'll get out come race time anyway. But
mate, to put that shirt on, you'd have to be. Here's Anthony's horse in the red and the white checks.
we just missed the sort of vital part of this race where this horse got held up by the horse that's dropping out there. Fireburn got the run underneath it. This horse coming out of a maiden, She's Extreme, which looks like nearly the best 2-year-old form going around. Obviously, that's not super strong at the moment, but this thing came out of a Kensington maiden behind Conqueror. Seven Vales came out and won on Saturday out of it. This horse ran 4th there. It was unlucky in the maiden, and you could see it was sort of closing nice and hard there. That was only its 2nd run in its life. Is drawn sticky with the mighty T Berry aboard on Saturday, and just hoping that, knowing the camp, they'll be desperate to get into the slipper. So I think it probably only needs to run top 2 maybe to get in the slipper, but they'll be wanting a runner in it, and I think they'll press the button a bit more Saturday. And the favourite in the race, Queen of the Ball, thought she was a bit plain last time when they tried to hold her up over the 11, and I think just sort of stretching to the 12 here should be difficult for her to run out with too much gusto. So I think the danger's Miss Fabergé, which came out of that same race there and was unlucky with the blinkers on soft draw. So I think between the two of She's Extreme, if it just needs a little bit of luck early, it'll be too strong for them. But Miss Fabergé is a little bit scary. Johnny Sargent with the blinkers on, 3rd up, coming through the same race, taking on Queen of the Ball.
It's a heavy 10 now, but the weather forecast looks cherry ripe in Sydney finally, and so the next couple of days it should get a really good opportunity. So I'll be interested to see how many ratings it comes back. Nico, you've also got a pretty good handle on 2-year-old stocks in general. Is there anything that tickles your fancy out of this race, or you think Walt's on the money?
I didn't have a good look at the Magic Night. I had a little bit look at the Pago or the Pango with Magic running there. I will say if these horses can, like the winner of these 2 races is probably going to back up into the slipper on potentially another wet track. So they'll have the wet track form. I remember the last time that happened, Cosmic Force, I think, ran in the Slipper. I reckon Kiyomichi might have won it. And they were sort of backing up off these two races and had some big performances there. So, the horses that win this, the market usually finds them in the Slipper, especially if the track's going to be wet there, Golden Slipper Day. So maybe if a horse like Magic comes out and wins or something like that, there might be an angle of taking a bit of a futures price after the line there. I don't know, I'm sort of looking for something like that.
I think it's like, even though it's not qualified, I'm not sure what price it is at the moment. They dead set hammered it after that first up.
$13 still, so Coolangatta's $5.50.
Yeah, well, if it gaps him tomorrow, yeah, it'll firm up for sure.
Yeah, I reckon if he come out and gapped him on Saturday, I reckon he'd nearly start favourite on the backup. But he's got to come out
Big
and do
chance
it.
because Coolangatta's going to show up off about 8-9 weeks. That the thing that ran second to it, Russian Camel.
Conquest.
Yeah, dead to me. It wasn't super. I know it was only a Snowden barrier trial last week, but you'd be trying to find something to beat it, surely.
Sergedan, Best of Bordeaux, Jacquinot.
Won a horrible race last week. The third, that show court probably should have won B5, and it won't even be in the Slipper. It's there's a few holes in the market. Only Best of Bordeaux and whoever wins this week's probably the one to beat in Seven Vales.
I'd love to see a pair of blinkers or something on Jacquinot. I think Mick Price would be keeping that up his sleeve.
I think what
He
you
was a
need for
massive
Jacquinot is probably the gates to open about 1.8 seconds before.
Did you ever watch the Blue Diamond? Did you watch the Blue Diamond?
Class 3, yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Go.
Did you see the Blue Diamond, mate? It was a dead set, absolute blanket finish between 27 of them. And the 2-year-old's that bad. I'm not saying it can't win, but it's not my sort of horse.
Big
Just listened to Moody Camp this morning. Mullane's going to head there to the Slipper.
Yeah, well, that's.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a chinky race. So
It is a massive chinky race, but a back marker on a wet track.
Is it going to be wet though?
What's that?
Is it going to be wet? What's the forecast for 14 days?
Is it going to be wet? They've had 600 mils. Doesn't matter if it doesn't rain for a month.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Doesn't matter if it doesn't rain. It'll be, and they're going to chop the shit out of it this week too. They're going back to the true. Next week will be 3 meters, so they'll get 3-4 meters off this week, and chop the crap out of it. Then they'll move it to the rail to where the chop is next week, and they'll get out again. It'll be crazy.
The Sydney horses might have anything left. They're just getting hammered on all these wet tracks. You got a bit of DF, MF.
Best of Bordeaux, mate. He's missed all the wet tracks. Straight to the front this week.
How'd he rate the other day, Mullane?
His stuff like last 200 was pretty good relative to the rest of the day. I don't know, he paraded with a fair bit of improvement, I thought, just sort of mentally in all those sort of areas. So I reckon the debut will really help him from that point of view. And Moody's absolutely flying. He's got the 2-year-old in race number 1. She looks hard to beat as well there at Flemington. So he's been killing it down the straight. So look, of the Melbourne 2-year-olds, I'd be thinking Jacquinot and probably, Sebenak, Revolutionary Mist are ahead of him. But
at least he's got the fresh legs, though.
They're going to be like 3 weeks between runs, potentially on a bottomless track. Like, is that really a great setup? I don't know.
Yeah.
Tough scene at the moment, the Slipper.
Sydney racing is just full of tricks at the moment. Be tricky for the new players, but an old hand like John Walter, he just absolutely revels in the going.
I just throw the blindfold on and just pin the tail on the donkey.
Just needed like the old
what's
days.
the name of that horse?
Where the Snowden, you'd have the one that went grouse, like Snowden's, then they backed off it and it got beat at $1.70 the week before, 2 weeks before the Slipper.
That's right.
Well, that's
Russian
Conquest.
That's Russian
that's
Conquest. Oh, there you go.
Covered horse from Magic
There's the
Beans
winner.
Day.
There's the winner. There it is. That's the tried and true test. That's tried and tested.
Started the $1.90 and just sort of
Over it
whacked
went,
away.
got beat. Yeah, no, because that's it. Back
It's out
off
the
it.
back.
Yeah, grand final day.
What's the Melbourne horse called? Mullane.
I think Walt's just trying not to mention Russian Conquest to try and get a price. He's still chasing his cash for Magic
I'm balls deep, best of Bordeaux, and I've had something on Seven Vales last week before it ran, but yeah, I don't think I'll be doing a lot more. There's no one knows. There's no answer. Doesn't matter what anyone says, even if it's Davo.
Can't help himself. Righto, Rosehill race 10. We're going to have a look at here. The benchmark 78, the Serone. 1900.
Oh, hang on, I've got to go to my notes.
Hey?
I've got to go to my notes.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
because you were in here for an extra 5 minutes. It looks like you've done 4 pages of them. I don't know if you've sent anything off the...
No, a few
I
of these.
ran out of
Okay.
pages.
Hey?
I ran out of pages.
Waller, these Waller things that used to run down here.
Here we are.
All right.
Yeah, we've given up on
Zoomon's the
Waller, mate.
favourite.
I nearly found Waller in race 6 or something. I just couldn't do it to myself. First up, Mar and Par or something. I was like, no.
Not after no compromise.
No.
What was the ride like?
Oh, well, if it's not ducking and weaving for the Sydney Cup, I am not here.
Oh my God.
And I dead set. If Jay Ford's riding into the Sydney Cup, I'll eat a pineapple. There's no way.
I nearly jumped in the car to go find Jay Ford. I was furious. That was,
and it was a
not
weird race. So, geez, that Zarek must be a fair animal. Like second up, jumping in distance, chasing that fast tempo on that track, and just ran away from him. It was a strong race. There'll be plenty of form come out of it.
There seems to be two of Zarek, or they sometimes are trying a lot more often than others.
Yeah,
it's been off the map sometimes, and
geez, it went good.
It's a real query run of that one. Okay. Race 10, Rose Hill. Let's get the show back on the road. Zoom On is the favourite here, 420 into 380. Forever You 480. Russo 650. Pale King 750. Benode. That's DK's little warm up man. Richie Bennett is always giving the 2 for 22s. He absolutely loves it. 850. Mr. G $9. Military Mission 13. Agnelli 14. Canasta $14. Main stage 21. Walt, we're going to have a look at Zoom On. Winning at Canterbury. I think I was in your disc.
So this day, it had everything to go its way. They've gone out like 15 below and ripped home, and he took off at the 800 and made full use of the advantage of the leader in fence. But he was only second up, so that's why I'm very keen to stick with this horse. He was 1550 to 1900 this night. Certainly everything in his favour this night, but just a super strong Waterhouse horse on his way to a derby. The horse that chased him in Benno is in on Saturday, and it was only second up there too. Pale Face or something is just running fifth there in the Chautauqua colours. It's in the race as well on Saturday. But this horse, there's a bit more speed. You got Canasta and a few likely types that'll probably want to push for the front, but this bloke's definitely adaptable enough to sit just behind him. Now he's sort of third up 1900, stays at the same trip. I think he's won 3 times once off tracks. There's no doubt that Waterhouse horses, hang on, the green screen's gone down here. The Waterhouse horses continue to improve through their preps, and he'll run you a heck of a sight. I don't. There's negatives against the others in the betting there, wide draws that'll need luck and have to sustain runs, whereas this bloke will be sort of in the first 4, no doubt, and be letting down and giving him something to chase. I expect him to run really well.
You boys that know this horse?
Did he win his maiden at Kyneton that day? Was it Kyneton? And he looked like he was beaten or something. I think something that sort of headed him or something. He really fought back. And
I'm pretty sure he won his maiden at Moe on a real wet track one day.
Zoom On.
Oh,
okay. Anyway. He's
back in the spring, and then
he's one of those typical gay, strong things up the front.
Flemington and was well backed, and I was aboard, and he went no good there. But looking at this race, Zoom On, obviously, he showed a fair bit of talent. I think he won on a heavy 8 at Moe that day as well. So that'd be a tick. Forever You's got Jay Ford, so they might as well scratch, and they probably will scratch and come to Cranbourne Friday night because he's in there. So that might sort of...
It's like 4 or 5 weeks. That's the only reason I thought it might go back to 19, because he's had a few fair break between runs. But I agree with you. That's why I don't like him in Sydney, is because he's having that big distance drop. But he's more suited in Cranbourne if he's fit enough.
And then Russo can't go in Sydney. He's just Melbourne only. Pale King's such a battler. So it's probably the race to look for the on-the-rise 3-year-olds, isn't it? They're probably both looking to go back to a derby. Wouldn't they be Benno and Zoom On, I'd imagine?
Benno as well. And it's scary, but it's inside gate King who's riding like me at the moment. So... you got to take her on a little bit, but $9 is certainly not bad for it. It can improve.
It's got the Profondo form, Benno.
Profondo form.
Yep.
I saw R King just flying down the outside, flapping around on She's Ideal, and nearly knocked over very early. I couldn't believe my eyes.
She's just not riding. I don't know whether it's she's the old split with B Spriggs or something might be playing its part. It took me one race to get the wrinkle back in form yesterday, so I rang up to try, and they were talking about trying to get him on a horse in the Doncaster. They're like, don't touch him at the moment because he's got the family issues with his wife's family in the Ukraine or something, and it's all on for young and old, and apparently he's not in a good space, the wrinkle, and about 8 minutes later he rode a winner at Sandown.
Too good.
Jester.
Yeah.
Racingwatch.com.au for more of Johnny Walters' action. I think the night was absolutely bucketing down at Canterbury that night where T. Clark just went the full way. I think you guys...
the daily double, they got the T Clark double that night.
Four winners in a row.
All up. That could be the last winner.
Kept printing cash in there on a Friday night. So I enjoyed that over a couple of glasses of red on the couch. But if you like horse racing, golf, and 1984 Gremlins cards and Care Bear t-shirts, Walt will help you out in his Discord
across
channel.
it all.
No, it's highly entertaining stuff. All right, our favourite segment of the week, Mugs Moral. And doesn't he blow up on Twitter if I don't tag him in on the tweets?
Can you stop?
What's
this 6 weeks of tipping? What's this? Can you explain what
he's going to the track every day.
What's that?
He's going to the track every day for the next 6 weeks. He'll be there for his fans.
What track?
All the metro.
Wherever the races are, not just the same track. He's just not going to show up, Kyneton every day.
I think you should relocate to Melbourne. He seems like a Melbourne man.
He's a man of the people anyway. It doesn't matter where he is. He's just a man of the people.
Let's hear what he's got to say this week.
Hi guys, Mugs Moral. The mug looks like he's going to keep going 1 from 2, Sydney, Melbourne, or New South Sydney, either way. So this week's Mugs Moral, guys, is the Sydney one is Rosehill Gardens Race 4, number 1 Ellsberg. The mug was on it last start at $3. It's going to jump and lead this week with Tim Clark. In a smallish field, it's going to jump from barrier 7. It's just going to jump or lead and go find your bookie. It opened $2 on some of the other corporates, but at the official bookie of Little Birdie and the mug punter, it opened $1.90 into $1.60. The mug took $1.90. So, and the Melbourne Moral is race 8. Flemington race 8, number 9. Charlotte. Its first up form is 4 from 4. The mug doesn't know much about these Melbourne jump outs compared to barrier trials. I don't know if they're going around or just garfing around. It ran last. I don't know, but every time it's run first up, it is 1. Every time Declan Bates is on it, it's 1. Good barrier. Loves the distance, loves the track. We'll be back in the field. I heard Flemington's a very fair track in Melbourne, so it should be winning. And it is $8 into $7. The mug took 7, but I think he's seen 17 somewhere with the tab, but I don't know. I seen 17 somewhere on one of the bookmaker sites I use. So boys, the Mugs Morals this week are Rosehill Race 4, number 1 Ellsberg, and Flemington Race 8, number 9 Charlotte. Good luck, guys. Go to the Rabbits 13 plus against Brisbane is the Mugs football moral for this week. So good luck. And what does the Mug say when he finds his book? When he finds a winner, go find your bookie. Good luck, and be back next week for a big gold slipper day.
Tell you what, I'm gonna have to up Mug's wages now. He's tipping sports as well.
Mate, for 8 days I've been sitting on -5.5 for Rabbits for my absolute life, like it's all in, we're gone, we're no more Gremlins cards, nothing, we're finished, and he's come out and declared South 13 plus.
You're gonna have to go for the split now. You're gonna have to go back the other way.
I'm trading out.
Shiloh down in Melbourne. Any light on the jump out situation there? It's a bomb horse. This when all things go right, Nico.
She was beaten, I would say, a considerable 150 metres in a jump out at Colac. So that's her though. She just jumps out no good, but fresh is best, and jumped out like she wouldn't win a maiden. So I think that's probably best with her as well, because that seems to be how she does her racing.
Yeah. What about $17? How good are the Scroat going at the moment? How good are the Scroat going? Like dead set. Talk about confetti prices. Like it's just you just don't even look at them. Others, I said a mug. Don't even look. Where it opens up at Sportsbet and Top Sport and these joints opens at $8. It's opened $8. Don't worry about the Scroat and all the blokes fucking crashing into each other trying to knock off that price. At
$9 Gravina was the same thing Saturday. I was like, we had a blackout at home 4 hours last night. $9 the blackout will open up $3.80. Like that $3.80 is the real price. So I agree with you. It's all bullshit.
And he keeps finding your men. I think he's just subtly trolling you here. Overpass.
Subtly trolling me. The bloke follows me around like Billy Goat's Gruff. Pops out up from every bridge. Pay the toll. Holy crap.
Oh, Billy Goat's Gruff. I don't mind it. T. Clark, $1.85. Ellsberg. You hear what Mug said? Just we'll find the front and just go find your bookie. You don't even have to watch.
It's the greatest lay in the history of the world at $1.60. Like heavy going off a heavy track run, 200 metres up, which suits every other horse in the race better. That thing from Melbourne, they'll know it better. It's not a horse that really jumps out of the ground, but it's solid. It's hard fit. It's got wet form, and it would be there. There's one of Waller's popping in the race off a little bit of a half lawnmower run last start that could jump out of the ground, and Wairiri falls back in distance. I don't know. I think this is the run to be finding something to beat Ellsberg personally, but he will get a soft run on speed, just $1.60.
Just Folk is the horse that you're thinking of, Jay Collett. Barrier 1, Jay Collett. That's perfect.
It came out of didn't it come out of the Tefane race or something? Tefane race?
Yeah. He likes to remember he won his maiden on the wet, I reckon. He went like a rocket. They say I haven't done it, but someone told me Jay Collett's flying up there. Is that right, Walt?
Oh, he'll do your head in, but he's a very, very good jockey when he's in the mood.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Better on wet tracks because he's a Kiwi? Or is that like DK's grey in the
except
wet?
for when the fence is off, then he's in a
He's
lot
got
of
his
pain.
blinker
He's
issues.
got a very good. He likes the fence. He and the white paint. They sort of. But he's when he gets the left-hand blinker going, he's a different level.
Very good. Okay, all right. I think Mug's going to find a winner there. I don't know which one it's going to be, but he's having 3 swings at it.
I just hope it's the last one, personally.
I'd love to see South not cover. I'm back for South as well, but that would be hilarious if
Mate,
Mug
I got the
there.
old the Adam Reynolds was not going to be there, male.
How's that going?
Plowed, and
Is he back?
No, he's not. He's not
He's
playing. But I think
I thought they're going to give him till like the last hour to be sweet.
That's not what I read this morning.
Oh, is it?
I don't think it matters.
Mm.
I don't think it matters.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
All right, Top Sport Steamers. These need to lift big time. I think Tristan might be starting to send me the B set here. I can't work out why they've gone so cold. And there's one bet here that I reckon it's a donation. Flemington Race 2, number 3, Rocker Clock, $400 at $10.
Yeah, good horse second up. I think she just spun the wheels a bit first up on that wet track. If she can get back to her best, where she ran, second in Invitation, she's right in that race. But she got to beat Fly Mascot, Churaf, so that's a hot little race, the Matron.
The next one is a beauty, Shelby 66.
No, it's not.
Hey?
It's not.
I thought it was a joke.
The syndicates have
I'm
started
still
early.
looking at it, and I think it's a joke.
Hey?
It's a
Rosehill
joke, right?
Race 5, number 9. I had to just make sure it wasn't
Ratings,
a typo.
mate.
There it
Ratings.
is.
Off the ratings.
Morris McCartan. It's going around again. You're getting dizzy. 650, 8 to 650 against Gravina.
Yeah.
What?
8-0. There's a zero missing.
I thought Tristan was having a bit of a
No, it's
gag.
$8 at 1,000. He's reversed it. He's reversed the bet.
Doomben Race 6 is Mr. Larrabee. Haven't done any Brizzy form, so betting with my eyes shut here. Race 6, number 3, Mr. Larrabee, $550 at $8.
Interesting bet,
Nico?
the 550.
Anyone-
I just like the 550.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's underwater, isn't it, Doomben?
Could be a bit of a lead there. Could be a bit of a
Is it-
partial.
When's Eagle Farm? They were telling me about Eagle Farm where they reckon it looks unbelievable, but they're too scared to gallop a horse on it because they just don't know what's going to happen. They don't know whether it's going to blow up or it's going to race like any. I can't wait till that joint reopens. But
I'd like blow up would be favourite.
blow up will be favourite, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's
They say it looks like a carpet. Yeah, probably race like one.
okay. Military Mission, race 10, number 10 against you, Walt. There's a little 200 here at $26.
What else? I'm dead set. Never heard of the horse.
Hmm.
That's a good sign.
Gay Waterhouse, Regan Bayless, first up.
Don't know it. Don't know it. I haven't got that deep into it.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck, punters.
All right. I think that's a wrap from us. So hopefully that'll help you find a couple of winners. DK might have found one at Cranbourne, and Zoom on looks like it's going to go to the next level. Really tricky race, the Newmarket, and some great racing all around. Any final thoughts, DK, or just going to go sprinkle a bit of positivity on your cornflakes?
Yeah, that's it. I just like to back one that finishes within 6 lengths personally. But anyway, we've got plenty. The week. Oh, Nico. Oh, what about the weekend? Saturday, Eden Hope and Towong. Sunday, Stony Creek Cup Day, Echuca Cup Day, Corua Cup Day, all Mad Leaders tracks. So it's got to be something there. Surely we can fight back on the weekend.
Edenhope, Towlong is an absolute mad leaders track.
Yeah.
You can find one out wide there, punters. It's going to jump to the front. And you
Lure jobs, lure. Jump on the lure.
All right, if you want to check out more of the boys' stuff, make sure you go to littlebirdie.live and head to the shop, and you can jump on board for DK and Nico stuff. And as I said, Racing Watch for Walt. But been another good episode. We'll be back next Thursday.
I'd like to wish DK good luck with the drive home. Just hope there's no
He makes it
potholes or
safely.
anything on the way.
He'll
I don't
find
want him to get home with a bit of anger or anything. We want him to get home nice and safe and sweet.
All right, we'll see you next week.